Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am just so thrilled because she's a friend and she's incredibly talented. She is a mezzo soprano. She's a music teacher. She is my friend. It's Linda Collazo. Nice to see you once again, Linda.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Do you wake up in the morning and just start singing, like doing a little opera, or does it
Uh,
take you a while to get yourself going?
it depends on if I have work. Right now I'm taking a little bit of time off, but when I'm
Okay.
working a lot, I'm like, I wake up and I start doing lip trills and I start humming
Wow.
immediately.
Well, that's wonderful, and what really energizes me is your passion for the work, and we're going to talk in the second part of our segment here about your teaching, which is, of course, passing it on is vitally important, especially in our home borough of the Bronx. And so, I want to ask you about playing at Carnegie Hall and singing at Carnegie Hall, and I'm going to start the conversation with. How do you get there? Of course, you practice, you practice. Tell us a little bit about how you got to Carnegie Hall, aside from all the practice.
Wow. I mean, years of hard work. I started when I was 13 singing at LaGuardia High School. That's where I learned how to sing opera and connections. Once you start singing, it's amazing. Like even in college, you will meet people who will go all over all kinds of places and they will remember you if you were excellent back then and if they see your track record. So one of my peers from from college remembered me and he works for this company called Choirs of America and they perform at Carnegie Hall all the time. And he just randomly emailed me one day asking if I could sing there and at Lincoln Center. So it was really,
And you said no. I don't think I want to do. I don't want to. I don't
oh
want to
my
sing
God,
in those
no.
places.
As soon as I got that email, I just like was like, yes, I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
And so, what was the context? I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't, ladies and gentlemen. Linda Collazo presents, but was it in the framework of another a program of some sort?
Right.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was. So it's called Choirs of America. It's now called Harmony Tours, Choirs of
Okay.
America and Harmony Tours, and it's a really, wonderful company where they bring together tons of choirs from high schools across the country to perform at Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall. So I functioned as like the teaching artist, young artist, where I just performed in between sets, like when they were transitioning on and off the stage. So it was just me and the piano and literally I sang for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it
So,
was
but before we even get to that, and did you choose the pianist and did you choose the material, or
yeah.
did they say, well, you're going to do this and here's your piano player?
I picked my pianist and I picked my repertoire, which
Hmm.
was really fun for me because I do love Spanish music in the classical canon, and that exists. A lot of people don't know that exists, so I got to sing a lot of Spanish music.
Hmm. And your own evaluation of how it went.
I mean, it was nerve wracking. I will.
What was it? Was the place filled? Were there people in the audience?
Yeah, no, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people, and then also the students were watching, so that was really exciting. The students. It's always fun to sing for students because they're like especially like inspired. So
And enthusiastic,
yeah,
especially if they see a young person who they can relate to, like
yeah.
you. Yeah.
So it was like really fun in that respect. I will say, oh my God, Carnegie Hall was so dry. Like every time I went off stage, I had to like drink hot water. I had to
Really?
yeah, like my mouth was just completely
Is that
dry.
because you were nervous? Be
I
honest.
know, I think it
Oh,
was just the hall, and I spoke to
wow.
one of my coaches afterwards who's, like, worked there before, and I was like, "That hall is so dry," and she was like, "Yeah, it is."
Wow.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to ask you, and I'm going to give you a personal thing of goodness gracious, goes back into the 70s. I saw Paul Simon at Carnegie Hall. We were seated all the way in the upper, the cheap, the
Oh,
$2 seats. Well, that was okay. But I had a broken ankle at the time, so I was allowed in early. And we walked in and nobody was in the hall. And Paul and his band were doing their sound check. And so we were like, and Paul saw us enter from downstairs and he said, oh, it appears they're letting people in. So let's cut it off. I heard him talking on the stage all the way upstairs. And I was like,
yeah.
the acoustics in this place are amazing. Did you find or tell me about the acoustics in there? Did you
Um,
find stuff like that
so
that
I've
happened?
sung at Carnegie Hall before in the chorus, so I already
Okay.
knew that the acoustics were, like, bonkers, but, like, to sing there as a soloist, it was really funny, like, when I first came out and I sang my first piece and, like, I had the applause, I literally looked at the ceiling because the ceiling is so high, and that's, like, where the sound bounces off from, and that's why the reverb is so, like, great, and I heard my own echo, and I literally I don't know if I can, like, curse here, but I literally mouthed the words, "Oh." I was like, while I was up there in my gown, I was like,
Wow.
'cause
Wow.
it was really amazing. I was, like, kind of, like, taken
Wow.
aback by it.
You know, they say to people who, make announcements, like, at that Yankee Stadium or Citi Field, that you have to be careful because you if you speak too fast, it starts to conflict with the echo. Did you have to, adjust anything or it just other than
Uh,
keeping yourself hydrated?
no, I mean, there's not much you can do 'cause,
Right.
I didn't have a mic and, like, I didn't like,
You did have a mic?
I didn't. So, like,
Wow.
there was nothing
Wow.
I could do.
That
So,
is just this is amazing.
yeah, so all I could do was just sing.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is, just amazing. You had family and others there who were like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it was really, like, a powerful moment. I did have a lot
Wow,
of
wonderful.
family and friends.
So one last thing, and then I do wanna talk about your teaching. Do you have other performances? You had said, Lincoln Center, is that something
Yeah,
coming?
so with the same company, I did perform in April last month at
Oh, I
Lincoln
see.
Center, and that was, like, really that was actually, like,
It was like,
really memorable.
oh, I was gonna say it was disappointing compared to Carnegie Hall?
No, it
Oh, no.
actually it was bigger. It was a bigger deal.
It was a bigger deal. Oh,
Yeah.
so I asked you all the wrong questions. What was
No,
that like?
it's okay, 'cause,
So
Carnegie
wait, were you
Carnegie
in the
Hall
opera house? Were you in the opera house?
No, I sang at, Alice Tully Hall,
Okay.
but it was very memorable, and important because I got to work with this composer who is very, like, famous now. He's one of the few famous, living composers. His name
Wow.
is Dan Forrest, and he writes many choral works that I even sang in college, and I was a soloist for his piece called Jubilate Deo, and then the conductor, his name was Craig Hella Johnson. He's a Grammy winner, and I mean, like, it was kind of crazy. Like, they were such kind, humble, sweet people.
Wow.
It was one of the most beautiful
Like
experiences.
you, like you, like you,
Aw,
right?
I hope so, it's very easy to develop an ego in any entertainment industry.
Sure, here you are at Carnegie Hall in Lincoln Center. Now listen, before we run out of time, so you have voice and piano lessons. Now you've been doing this for a while?
Yeah, I've been teaching since I was 18,
Uh-huh.
so it's been 9 years.
Not that we wanted to ask how old you are. And why did you start doing it? I guess it's a way to make a couple of dollars, but,
Yeah.
I know that you have passion for
Yeah, I mean, especially in the Bronx, you know how it is, especially in Hunts Point, the South
Yes.
Bronx. There's not much like there are not many businesses that
Mhm.
provide, arts education. And even in our schools, like I don't think they're as frequent as they used to
You're
be.
correct.
Yeah. So,
It's interesting. I ran into a guy who, does guitar lessons, just the other day, and I was asking him, we should get all the independent music instructors together. He said the problem is that there are large schools now, and so anybody who's like looking for music, rather than get the one-on-one and the real individual instruction that we could get from somebody like you, he said people are going to these music schools. So what do you teach? Do you teach only opera or any kind of
mm,
singing or to like talk about the range of stuff?
so I like working with beginners because, I think that people associate being a musician or knowing music with like being a star and being an expert. And I personally have the philosophy that anyone could play music, even if it's not like you don't sound like Mariah Carey, like you could still hold a tune. I'm a personal believer that anyone can do that. So I like to work with people of all ages. I like to work with
I want to just interject all
yeah,
ages. So it's not
yeah, I
only
work with
children, you
yeah, I
work
work
with
with all
adults.
ages. I love working with teenagers and adults. I even like work with people who are retired sometimes. And those are like the most fun and enjoyable because I get to talk to them about life and just see like them develop a hobby that's really beneficial to their life, you know? Like music isn't all about like being the best and being a star. Like music is also really good as a pastime and it's just good for your mental health and for your
Absolutely,
everything.
and it's self-fulfilling. I mean, I know, if I have stuff that doesn't make me happy, I'll take a walk in the park and get my earbuds on and hear music, and at the end of the walk, I say, "You know what? Now I've got a new perspective on my life." So, if people want to, contact you, and I hope they will, we need more. I mean, we invented all the music in the world. I know that in the Bronx, but, if people want to, learn music, learn piano, learn to sing, feel better about themselves, how do they get to you?
They can just email me, Linda Collazo Mezzo at gmail.com, but also my website has a lessons tab. So lindacolazo.com slash forward slash lessons. And then you can see like reviews and also like my work, my portfolio, things like that. But that's mainly how to reach.
That's how to do it. I'm going to offer a review right now. Do it. She's the best.
Oh,
Does that work for you? Now listen, we know each other a long time. I'm going to ask you, sing me anything, anything, anything right now. I know you didn't do your exercises or anything like that.
uh-huh.
Just sing anything, just so people can hear how beautiful you
Okay,
sing.
okay. Let me see. It's
Anything.
been a
You
long
want to
time.
sing opera?
Okay.
La barre bien l'autre c'était l'autre que je préfère, il n'a rien dit, mais il m'appelait.
Very good. I didn't want to have to cut you off, but we are running out of time. Linda, you are just a joy of light for all of us and for
Thanks.
people of the Bronx. Music, let there be music.
Oh,
Let there be music with Linda Collazo. Check her out.
okay.
Get yourself some lessons. Meet up with somebody who's really special. And listen, Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, winning a Grammy. Every time that happens, you let us know.
I
Okay.
hope I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever win one, but
Oh, if they ask me to vote, I vote yes.
aw,
Listen, if when I sing, they say you're kind of like Bob Dylan, but not as good. Anyway, listen, you're the best. Take
aw,
care. Be well. Say hello to your sister Patty, who I know very well, and we'll see you around town.
bye. Thank
See you
you.
later. Okay, that should do it for the Bronx Buzz. I am thrilled that we got to speak with a couple of young people this morning, or this evening, actually, and we'll see you around town. Good night.